The night was quiet in the small alien village. The sky was full of strange stars that blinked like living eyes. The houses were made of stone and glowing vines, and the air carried a cold wind that touched every window. Inside one of these houses, a mother and her little daughter slept close together on a mat. The child, her skin soft with faint patterns, twisted in her sleep. Her breath came fast and her small hands grabbed the blanket tightly. She was dreaming of something that frightened her. Then suddenly, she woke up, her eyes wide, shining in the dim light. "Mom," she whispered with a shaking voice. "Something grows on my back." The mother, still half asleep, opened her eyes slowly. Her heart skipped a beat when she heard the words. She turned to her daughter and placed her hands gently on her shoulders. "What do you mean, little one?" she asked softly. The child's voice cracked. "It hurts sometimes, and when I lie down I feel like something is pressing out, like a stone under my skin." Her small fingers touched her own back, trembling. The mother sat up quickly, her face pale under the faint glow of the night vines. Fear filled her chest. She pulled the blanket away and carefully slid her hand under her daughter's tunic. At first she felt only the warmth of the child's skin, but then her fingers brushed something harder, something strange. It felt like a bump rising where nothing should be. Her breath caught, her hands froze. She wanted to tell her daughter it was nothing. Maybe only a rash, maybe only a small swelling. But the truth inside her heart told her it was not normal. The little girl looked up with tears in her eyes. "Mom, am I sick?" she asked, her voice so soft it broke the silence of the night. The mother's lips trembled. She pulled her daughter into her arms and held her tight. "No, my child. You are safe with me," she said. But even as the words left her mouth, she did not believe them. The sound of the wind outside grew louder, rattling the vines on the walls. The mother's mind filled with old stories, old fears, whispers from her grandmother long ago. Stories about children marked by the stars, children who carried strange signs on their bodies and how none of them lived long. She pushed the thought away, shaking her head. She could not let her daughter see the fear in her eyes. Instead, she kissed her forehead and laid her back down. "Sleep now, it will be fine in the morning," she whispered. But the child shook her head, tears slipping down her cheeks. "It is growing, Mom. I feel it. I don't want to be different." The mother wiped her tears with gentle fingers, her heart heavy like a stone. "You are not different. You are my daughter, my little star," she whispered. Yet her own words cut into her because she knew the child was different. The room grew colder. Shadows moved with the flicker of the vine light. The mother lay awake, staring at the ceiling. She could still feel the hardness under her daughter's skin pressing against her memory. She knew in her bones that this was not a simple sickness. This was something far darker. As the hours passed, she held her daughter close, listening to her uneven breaths. The night stretched on, but the mother could not rest. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw glowing patterns. She heard her grandmother's warnings. She imagined people from the village discovering the mark and dragging her daughter away. Outside, the stars pulsed brighter, as if they too were watching. The mother felt small beneath them, powerless. She whispered a prayer in her language, begging for protection, begging for time. Suddenly the child whimpered in her sleep again. "Mom, it hurts," she cried. The mother sat up fast, panic rushing through her veins. She touched the child's back once more, and this time she felt it clearly. The bump had grown sharper, more solid, like bone pushing out. Her hands shook. Her heart pounded and her throat closed with terror. She pulled the child closer, rocking her gently, but her own tears spilled down her face. The night was no longer quiet. It was heavy with fear and secrets. The mother knew that life would never be the same again. Her daughter had spoken the truth. Something was growing on her back, something unknown, and the mother could not stop it. She pressed her forehead against her child's, whispering over and over, "You are mine, no one will take you, I will protect you." Even as she wondered how long she could keep her promise, and in that moment, as the stars glowed stronger, the future of both mother and daughter was set on a path they could not escape, a path full of pain, love, and a secret that could change everything. Morning came slowly in the alien village. The sky turned pale with shades of silver and blue. The glowing vines on the houses dimmed as the sun climbed higher, and the cold mist rose from the ground like silent smoke. Inside the small stone house, the mother had not slept. Her eyes were red from tears, and her arms still wrapped protectively around her daughter. The child stirred, rubbing her eyes, her voice soft. "Mom, it still hurts," she said. The mother forced a smile, though her chest felt heavy. "Let me see," she whispered, pulling the girl's tunic down gently. In the daylight, the truth became clearer. Faint, glowing lines spread across the child's back, thin like veins of light. They shimmered softly, wrapping around the bump that had grown overnight. The sight made the mother's stomach twist. She touched it with trembling fingers. It was not only harder now, it was warmer. Like it carried life of its own. The little girl turned her head, her big eyes filled with worry. "What is it, Mom? Why does it glow?" she asked, her voice breaking. The mother quickly pulled a cloth over her back, tying it tightly. "Do not let anyone see this," she whispered, her tone sharp with fear. The child blinked, confused. "But why, Mom?" "I did." "Nothing wrong," she whispered, her lips trembling. The mother hugged her close. "I know, my star, but people will not understand. They will say it is a curse. They will say you are dangerous." The girl's hands clutched her mother's dress. "Will they take me away?" she asked in a whisper. The mother closed her eyes, pain cutting through her. "Not while I live," she said firmly. The sound of voices drifted from outside, neighbors greeting each other, children running. The normal life of the village continued, but inside this house nothing was normal anymore. The mother peered through the small window, her heart racing with fear that someone might enter and see the mark. Memories returned, stories told by her grandmother in hushed tones. She remembered being a child herself, sitting by the fire while the old woman spoke of chosen children, children marked by light. The villagers had called them cursed. They believed such children carried death to their families. She remembered her grandmother's words, "Never let the world see such marks, or they will take the child from you." The mother shook her head, refusing to let that happen. She would protect her daughter, even if it cost her life. She packed a shawl and bread, her hands moving fast. Then she turned to the child. "Stay inside today, do not go to the market, do not let anyone touch your back." The girl nodded slowly, her small face pale with fear. She sat on the mat quietly, staring at the floor, her innocence crushed by the weight of something she did not understand. Hours passed, and the mother tried to act normal, cooking, cleaning, and answering neighbors at the door with forced smiles. But every moment her eyes returned to her daughter. To the hidden glow under the cloth, the child winced once in a while, pressing her back against the wall, trying to stop the pain. When the evening came, the mother decided to wash the cloth. She untied it carefully, and the sight nearly made her fall to her knees. The glowing lines had spread further, covering more of her daughter's back, wrapping around her shoulder blades like patterns of fire, and the bump had grown larger, almost like something trying to break free. The mother bit her lip so hard it bled, fear and helplessness crushing her chest. She touched it again, her fingers trembling. It pulsed faintly, alive. The girl turned and whispered, "Mom, am I going to die?" Tears falling down her cheeks. The mother shook her head quickly, grabbing her hands. "No, never speak that again. You will live. I will make sure of it," she said. But inside her heart, doubt screamed louder than hope. That night she lit no candles. She kept the house dark, afraid that anyone might see the glow through the thin walls. She wrapped her daughter's back again and again, hiding the light, hiding the truth. But the more she tried to hide it, the stronger the mark grew. In the quiet darkness, she could see faint light leaking through the fabric, glowing like stars under the cloth. Her daughter slept fitfully, crying in her dreams. The mother sat awake once more, staring into the shadows. She thought of running away, of leaving the village before anyone discovered the secret. But where could they go? The world outside was cruel. The mountains were harsh, and the villages beyond hated strangers. Still, she could not wait for the day her neighbors would discover the truth. Her heart broke every time she looked at her child, The little girl who only wanted to play, who only wanted to live without pain, now forced to carry a mark that could end her life. The wind outside grew cold again, carrying whispers through the night. The mother closed her eyes, rocking her daughter gently, whispering to herself, "This is not a curse, this is not a curse, it is only my daughter, my star, my child." But deep inside, she knew something greater was happening, something beyond her control. And as the night stretched long, the mark continued to glow, hidden under cloth, but alive with a light that refused to fade, a light that promised danger and perhaps destiny. The night had grown long, but the mother did not sleep. She sat near the fire, staring at its dim glow. The flames reminded her of the lines burning on her daughter's back. Bright and alive, she covered her face with her hands, trying to push away the fear. But the past returned to her mind like a storm. She remembered being small, sitting on her grandmother's lap, the old woman's voice heavy with warning. "Never speak of the children of light," her grandmother whispered. "They are touched by the stars, but the world calls them cursed." The mother remembered asking, "Why cursed, Grandma, if the stars choose them? Should that not be a gift?" Her grandmother's eyes filled with sorrow. "Because people fear what they cannot control, and fear turns to cruelty." She remembered the story of a boy from another village. Born with glowing marks on his arms, the villagers thought he would bring disaster. They locked him away. His mother cried until her voice broke, but no one listened. One night the boy vanished, and so did his family. No one spoke of them again. The mother shivered at the memory, her grandmother's last words still sharp in her ears. "If you ever see the light on someone you love, hide it. Hide it from all eyes, or you will lose them." Now her daughter carried that same light, and the memory returned with cruel strength. Her child stirred in her sleep, mumbling softly. "Mom, it burns," she whispered. The mother rushed to her side, touching her forehead, wiping away the sweat. The cloth around her back glowed faintly through the fabric like a star trapped under thin sky. The mother's heart broke again. She kissed her daughter's forehead, whispering, "You are safe, my star. You are safe." But her own voice was weak. Her hands shook with doubt. She looked around the small house. The walls felt like they were closing in. The village outside felt dangerous. The people she had known all her life suddenly felt like enemies. She imagined them seeing the glow. She imagined their fear turning to hatred. She imagined them dragging her daughter away, just like the boy in her grandmother's story. The thought made her chest ache. She could not let that happen. She would die before she allowed it, but what could she do? She was only one mother, one woman with no power, no strength against the entire village. She thought again of the forbidden stories, of the secret hope her grandmother once whispered when no one else was near. Some say the light is not a curse, but a path, a sign of change, a sign of something greater than our people. But those words had been buried in fear. No one dared believe them. The mother pressed her hands to her daughter's back, feeling the heat. She wondered if maybe her child was not cursed at all. Maybe she was chosen, but chosen for what? The fire crackled. Shadows danced on the wall, and memories mixed with fear. The child woke suddenly, her small body trembling. "Mom," she whispered. "I dreamed I was flying. I dreamed the stars carried me." Her voice was soft, innocent, yet it sent a chill down the mother's spine. She hugged her tightly. "Dreams are only dreams," she said quickly, but her heart knew otherwise. Dreams were often warnings. The mother closed her eyes, remembering how her grandmother once told her that the chosen children always dreamed of the sky before their bodies changed. Her eyes filled with tears. She could not deny it any longer. Her child was one of them, a child of light. The hours dragged on, her thoughts heavy, her fear like iron chains. But deep inside, a small flame of defiance grew. She would not let the village decide her daughter's fate. She would not let the past repeat itself. She whispered to the night, "I will protect her. I will find a way." Outside, the village was silent. But the stars above seemed brighter, almost as if they were watching, almost as if they had heard her vow. The child fell back asleep, her breathing uneven, her body twitching as if the transformation was already beginning. The mother sat beside her, brushing her hair gently, her heart torn between love and terror. Suddenly a knock echoed on the wooden door, sharp and unexpected. The mother froze, her heart pounding. She quickly covered her daughter and dimmed the fire, her voice caught in her throat. "Who is it?" she called, trying to keep her voice steady. "It is only me, neighbor," came a woman's voice. "I saw light in your house so late. Is everything well?" The mother forced a smile, though no one could see it. "Yes, all is well. My child had a fever. I stayed awake with her," she answered, her hands gripping her knees tightly. The neighbor's voice was kind but curious. I thought I saw a strange glow, but perhaps it was only my eyes." Fear stabbed through the mother's chest. She swallowed hard. "Yes, only the fire. Good night," she said quickly. Silence followed. Then the sound of footsteps fading. The mother waited, her body tense. Only when all was quiet again did she allow herself to breathe. She turned to her daughter, brushing her cheek, whispering, "We cannot stay here long. Someone will see. Someone will know." Her mind returned to the forbidden memory of the boy who vanished, and her grandmother's broken voice. She knew now the same danger hovered above her child. But as she looked into her daughter's face, she also knew one truth deeper than fear. She would not let history repeat itself, not while she lived, and so, as the stars glowed brighter through the window, the mother made a silent vow in her heart to protect the secret, to protect her child, no matter the cost. The morning came heavy with gray clouds, the air was damp, and the smell of wet soil drifted through the village. The mother had barely slept again. Her daughter's breathing was shallow, her small body twisting with discomfort, and the glow on her back had grown stronger. It leaked faint light even through the thick cloth the mother had wrapped. The mother knew the day was dangerous. Neighbors had begun to notice her silence, their questions pressed closer each time. Soon someone would enter her home without asking. Soon the truth would be seen. She prayed quietly that no one would come, but fate had other plans. By midday, a commotion stirred in the village square. People gathered, their voices excited. The mother peered from her window, holding her daughter close. Through the crowd she saw him, a stranger, a human. He was tall, with worn clothes that carried dust from long roads, his eyes sharp but tired, his hands scarred as though he had worked with fire and iron. He carried a small pack and a strange box of tools no villager had seen before. The villagers whispered, some curious, some suspicious. They rarely saw humans in their lands. "Why is he here?" one asked. "What does he want?" Another muttered, but no one dared approach too closely. The human spoke to the elder, asking for shelter, his voice calm, his words strange but clear enough to be understood. The elder studied him, then allowed him to stay for a few nights. The villagers scattered with murmurs, but the mother stayed hidden behind her door, her heart pounding. That night the rain began to fall. The mother heard footsteps outside her house. Her body stiffened, the door creaked, and there he was. The human, standing in the rain, water dripping from his hair. "Please," he said softly. "I was told you sometimes help travelers with food." Her first instinct was to send him away, to protect the secret of her daughter, but something in his eyes stopped her. They carried a heaviness, a loneliness she recognized. She nodded and let him inside. The human sat near the fire, warming his hands. His gaze wandered around the small house, then rested on the child curled under blankets. He tilted his head slightly, his eyes narrowing. "Is she sick?" he asked, his tone gentle. The mother stiffened, her fingers gripping the edge of her dress. "She only has a fever," she said quickly. "It will pass." But the human did not look convinced. His eyes held the weight of someone who had seen much suffering, much sickness. He did not press further. Instead, he reached into his pack, pulling out a small flask. "This helps with pain," he said, offering it. The mother hesitated, then accepted. She gave a small sip to her daughter. The child's breathing eased slightly, her body relaxing for the first time in days. The mother's eyes filled with tears of relief. She whispered, "Thank you." The human studied her quietly, then spoke. "I have traveled across many worlds. I have seen things your people may not believe. Marks on children, strange growths, lights that do not belong to normal flesh." His words struck her like lightning. She froze, her eyes wide. He looked at her daughter again, his expression darkening. "Tell me, what is happening to her?" The mother's heart raced. She wanted to deny it, but the weight of fear pressed too hard. She lowered her head, whispering. Something grows on her back, glowing like fire. I cannot stop it. The human's face turned pale. He leaned closer, his voice low. "Then she is not cursed, but changing." "I know this sign." The mother's breath caught, her hands trembling. "Changing into what?" she whispered. The human sighed, his eyes heavy with memory. "On another world. Long ago. I saw a child like her. Glowing marks on the skin, bones pushing through. The people feared her. But it was not disease. It was evolution. She was becoming something new, something powerful." The mother shook her head in disbelief. "But my people call it death. They say children like her bring ruin." The human's voice grew firm. "No, they bring fear only to those who cannot understand. Your daughter carries a gift. But if no one guides her, it will tear her apart from inside." The words hit the mother's chest like a blade. Her knees grew weak. She sank to the floor, tears spilling her. Hands covering her face, the human watched in silence, the firelight casting long shadows across his tired face. The child stirred again, whispering softly, "Mom, it hurts." Her small hand reaching out. The mother grabbed it quickly, pressing it to her chest. The human spoke gently. "I can help, but you must trust me and you must keep her hidden. If your people see what she is becoming, they will not let her live." The mother lifted her head slowly, her eyes red with tears. "Can you truly help her?" she asked, her voice breaking. The human nodded, though sorrow clouded his gaze. "I can try. I have seen this before. I know what must be done, but the path will not be easy. It will be filled with danger." The mother looked at her daughter, then at the stranger, her heart torn between fear and hope. The forbidden memories of old stories crashed against the chance of salvation. In that small house, under the storm outside, destiny shifted. The human had arrived, and with him came answers, but also questions that would change everything. The storm outside had calmed by morning, but inside the small house the storm only grew stronger. The mother sat near her daughter, brushing strands of hair from her damp forehead. The child had barely slept, her back burning with heat, the glow pulsing through the cloth like hidden fire. The human sat quietly by the door, sharpening a small blade with a stone, not for violence but out of habit. His eyes were thoughtful, heavy with something unsaid. The mother watched him with worry, her voice finally breaking the silence. "You said you knew what this is. Tell me the truth." The human placed the blade aside and leaned forward, his voice low. "If I speak, you must be ready to hear, for the truth is heavy." The mother's hands tightened on her daughter's shoulders. "I will hear. Nothing is heavier than the fear I already carry." The human sighed deeply, his gaze falling to the glowing lines beneath the cloth. "Your child is not cursed, she is chosen, her body is changing. But the change is dangerous. If it is left alone, the growth inside her will break her bones. It will consume her strength and she will not survive." The mother's breath caught, her heart twisting. "No," she whispered, hugging her daughter closer. "There must be a way. Tell me there is a way." The human nodded slowly. "There is, but it is not simple. Her body is growing wings." The words struck the mother like thunder. Her eyes widened, disbelief flooding her face. "Wings," she repeated, her voice shaking. "That is impossible." But the human's voice stayed calm, steady as stone. "I have seen it once before, on another world far from here. A child grew wings of light. The people called her a monster. But in truth she was a bridge between species, a sign of change, a new future. Your daughter carries the same gift." The mother's knees grew weak. She sank to the floor, her hands trembling. "A gift that will kill her." How is that a blessing? The human's gaze softened. Because only those who are strong in spirit survive it. Her pain means the wings are breaking through too soon. If her body is not guided, if her spirit is not protected, the transformation will tear her apart. But with the right care, she will live and she will shine. Tears spilled down the mother's face. She pressed her forehead to her daughter's, whispering, "I cannot lose her, she is all I have." The child stirred, her voice weak. "Mom, why are you crying?" she asked, her small hand reaching up. The mother caught it quickly, forcing a smile through her tears. "I am not crying. My star, I am only tired." But her heart screamed with fear. The human's voice cut through the moment, steady and unyielding. "You must decide, hide her and hope the pain passes, or let me help. I can guide her through this change, but it will cost you both much." The mother looked at him, desperation in her eyes. "What do you mean, cost us?" The human's jaw tightened. "The village will not understand. Once they learn the truth, they will try to take her. They will call her cursed. You may lose your home, your people, everything you know, but if you stay silent, you will lose her instead." The words hung heavy in the air, silence pressing between them. The fire crackled softly. The glow from the child's back brightened for a moment, filling the room with faint starlight. The mother's tears fell faster. She fell to her knees, clutching her child tightly. "I cannot choose between my daughter and my world," she whispered. "But if I must, I will choose her." The human nodded slowly, respect flickering in his eyes. "Then we act soon. The signs show her body cannot wait long. Each day the glow grows stronger. Each day her life hangs closer to the edge." The mother's heart ached, but her voice grew firm. "Tell me what I must do." The human leaned closer, his face serious. "You must trust me completely. There will be pain. More pain than you have seen. She will scream, she will beg for it to stop, but you cannot give in. You cannot let fear silence her path. For the wings must break free or they will crush her from inside." The mother's lips trembled, her arms tightening around her daughter. "I do not know if I have that strength." The human's voice softened. "You do. For love gives more strength than fear. You have carried her this far. You can carry her through the storm." The mother closed her eyes, her tears soaking her daughter's hair. She remembered the forbidden memory of the boy who vanished, the warnings of her grandmother, the cruel voices of the village, but she also remembered her daughter's laughter, her small hand in hers, her innocent smile, and she knew the choice was already made. She lifted her head, meeting the human's eyes with quiet resolve. "I will protect her. I will endure whatever comes, just save her." The human nodded once, a solemn promise in his gaze. "Then I will," he said. The child shifted again, a whimper escaping her lips, her back glowing brighter, the lines spreading across her shoulders like living fire. The mother kissed her forehead, whispering, "You will live, my star, you will live." But even as she spoke, she knew the path ahead would be filled with suffering, and the truth of what her daughter was becoming would soon shake not only their lives but the entire village. The days that followed were heavy with silence. The mother kept her daughter hidden inside the house, the glow from her back growing brighter each night. It was like living with a secret star. The mother wrapped her tightly with cloth, but the light always slipped through, faint, stubborn, impossible to hide forever. The human remained close, helping with food, bringing herbs for pain, teaching the mother how to cool her daughter's fever. His presence was strange yet steady, his voice calm when the mother felt she would break. Still, the fear of the village pressed on her like a crushing weight. It happened sooner than she feared. One evening, as she fetched water from the well, she heard whispers around her. Two women spoke low, but their words reached her ears. "Her child has been sick too long," one said. "I saw light through their window at night." "Unnatural light," the other replied. "Perhaps it is a curse, we must tell the elder." The mother's heart froze. She nearly dropped the bucket. She hurried back home, locking the door with trembling hands, her breath short, her chest tight. Inside, the human saw her pale face, and knew at once. "They are beginning to suspect," he said, his tone serious. "We cannot stay hidden much longer." The mother clutched her daughter close, her voice sharp. "I will not let them take her. They will not understand. They will call her cursed. They will kill her." The human placed a hand on her shoulder, steady and firm. "Then we must leave. The forest is dangerous, but it will give us cover. We can guide her through the change, away from their eyes." The mother shook her head, fear rising. "Leave. My home, my people, everything I know." Her voice broke. "I cannot." The child stirred, her weak voice whispering, "Mom." Her small hand clutching her mother's dress. "What are you talking about? Are we leaving?" The mother kissed her forehead. "Rest, my star, do not worry," she whispered. But inside she knew the truth. The choice pressed harder every moment. That night, as the village slept, the mother lay awake, memories rushing through her mind. She remembered her grandmother's voice warning of the cruelty of people. She remembered the story of the boy who vanished. She remembered the human's words, "She is not cursed, but chosen." Her heart battled itself, torn between fear of losing her home and fear of losing her child. At dawn, the knock came, loud and sharp. The mother froze, her daughter gasped and hid under the blanket. The human motioned for silence. The elder's voice boomed outside. "Open, we must see the child." The mother's blood ran cold. She pressed her hand over her daughter's mouth, holding her close. The human whispered quickly, "Do not open, stall them, but they will not leave forever." The elder's voice grew harder. "We know there is sickness, we saw light. If you do not open, we will force the door." The mother's body shook, her daughter whimpered. The glow beneath the blanket grew brighter, as if responding to fear. The human's hand gripped her arm. "This is the moment. Choose now." Tears filled the mother's eyes. She could no longer hesitate, her voice cracked but firm. "We leave," she whispered. The human nodded, moving quickly. He gathered his tools and a cloak. The mother wrapped her daughter tightly in dark cloth, hiding the glow as best she could. They slipped through the back window, out into the forest. Shadows, the elder's fists still pounding on the front door. The forest air was damp, the trees tall and silent, the path uneven. The mother carried her daughter on her. Back despite her weakness, the child whimpered with every step, her voice faint. "It hurts, Mom. It burns." The mother kissed her hair, whispering, "I know, my star, be strong. I will carry you through." The human led them deeper into the woods. His steps sure, his eyes scanning for danger, he spoke over his shoulder. "Once we reach the cave by the river, we can rest. It will be safe there for a time." The mother followed, her body aching, but her spirit fierce. Every step away from the village felt like tearing a piece of her heart, yet every glance at her daughter reminded her why she chose this path. Hours passed. The forest grew darker, shadows thick, the sound of water rushing nearby. They reached a cave hidden by moss and stone. Inside it was cool and damp. The human lit a small fire. The mother laid her daughter on soft leaves, brushing her glowing back with trembling hands. The glow had spread now across her shoulders, faint, lines curling down her arms, her small body shaking with fever. The mother's tears fell fast. "She cannot endure much longer," she whispered. The human's face was grim. "Then the time is near. Her body is ready to release what it holds. You must be ready too." The mother wiped her tears, holding her daughter's hand, whispering, "I will not let her go. I will fight even the stars if I must." The human placed his hand gently over the child's back, feeling the heat, his eyes serious. "Then tomorrow we begin. The pain will come, and the wings will either break free or break her." The mother closed her eyes, pressing her forehead to her daughter's, her voice trembling but steady. "I choose her, always her, no matter the cost." And in the darkness of the cave, with the fire flickering and the forest whispering outside, the choice was sealed. The mother had left behind her people, her home, her safety, for one truth greater than all, her love for her child. The cave was silent except for the faint crackle of fire and the soft groans of the child. The mother sat beside her, brushing sweat from her brow, whispering soft words of comfort. The human prepared herbs and strange tools, his hands steady, his face shadowed with concern. The glow on the child's back had grown brighter than ever. It leaked through the cloth like trapped sunlight. Her body trembled with each breath, her small hands gripping her mother's arm in fear. "Mom," she whispered weakly, "I can't. It hurts too much." The mother kissed her forehead, tears falling freely. "You are strong, my star. You will endure. I will not leave you." The human knelt beside them, his voice calm but firm. "The moment has come. Her body cannot hold it anymore. The wings must break free, or they will crush her from within." The mother's heart pounded, her hands shaking as she held her daughter tighter. "Tell me what to do," she begged. The human placed a hand on the child's back, his touch gentle but sure. "You must hold her steady," she will scream. "She will fight the pain, but you cannot let her move. You must remind her she is not alone. Your love will guide her through the fire." The mother nodded. Though her body trembled with fear, she wrapped her arms around her daughter, whispering promises into her ear. "I am here, my star. I will never let you go." Then it began. The glow erupted, brighter than any fire. The child cried out, her body arching in agony, the lines across her skin blazing like rivers of light. The bump on her back split open with a wet crack, and the mother nearly fainted at the sight. The child screamed, her voice echoing through the cave. Birds scattered from the trees outside. The mother held her tighter, rocking her, whispering again and again, "You are strong. You are mine. You will live." Her own tears soaking her daughter's hair. The human worked quickly, applying herbs to cool the burning flesh, his voice steady, guiding the mother. "Do not loosen your hold. The wings are pushing through. She must survive this moment." The glow grew unbearable, the cave lit as if filled with 100 suns. Then, with one final cry, something tore free. Sharp bones breaking the skin, stretching outward, blood and light mixing together. The mother gasped, horror and awe battling in her chest. She saw the beginnings of wings, fragile but shining, growing from her daughter's back. The child collapsed in her arms, sobbing. Exhausted, the glow dimmed slightly, leaving faint light shimmering across the stone walls. The human stepped back, sweat on his brow, his eyes wide with wonder. "She has done it," he whispered. "She has survived." The mother kissed her child's face again and again, crying with relief. "You live, my star, you live." Hours passed. The child drifted in and out of sleep, the wings on her back small and weak, still wet and trembling but real, glowing faintly like silver flame. The mother never let go of her hand. By dawn, the storm had cleared outside. Golden light streamed into the cave, touching the child's face. She opened her eyes slowly, whispering, "Mom, am I different now?" The mother stroked her cheek, smiling through her tears. "Yes, my star, you are different. But you are mine, and you are alive." The human sat quietly, watching the two of them, his eyes heavy with memory. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "Her wings will grow stronger, her light brighter, but you must protect her. For when the village learns the truth, they will not understand." The mother nodded, determination in her gaze. "Let them call her cursed. Let them call me mad. I will stand against them all. She is my child, and I will never let her be taken." The child reached back weakly, touching the fragile wings that trembled behind her. She looked at her mother with innocent eyes. "Will I ever fly?" she asked. The mother's heart ached at the question, but she smiled, brushing her hair. "One day, my star, one day you will rise above them all." The sun rose higher, spilling light into the cave. The wings caught the rays and shimmered like crystal. The mother and the human both stared in silence, awe filling their hearts. In that moment, the mother no longer saw a curse, she no longer saw fear. She saw a miracle, a child chosen by the stars, alive because of love. The human stood, tightening his pack. "The village will search for you. Their fear will drive them. You must be ready to run, ready to fight if needed." The mother rose slowly, her daughter's hand still in hers, her voice steady, strong. "I am ready. I have chosen. I will protect her no matter what comes. The child leaned against her. Mother, the small glowing wings folding weakly against her back, her tired voice whispering, Mom, I dreamed again. This time I flew over the village and you were smiling. The mother hugged her close, her tears falling once more. Then let that dream be your truth, my star, and I will smile until the end of time. The cave filled with the sound of rushing water outside. The forest breathed around them, and the sun crowned the new day. The mother, the child, and the human stood together at the mouth of the cave, facing an uncertain future, but no longer broken. For in the darkest night they had endured the storm, and now, with the wings of light trembling in the dawn, they had found a new beginning, a new dawn written not in fear, but in love.